Hello and welcome to BISP Solutions. My name is Ankita, and today we will continue with the Calculation Manager business rules. So in Calculation Manager today we are going to learn two new topics. First one is the driver based sales planning and another one is payroll tax calculation. So now we will first start with the driver based sales planning. So to understand this business rule, let us first understand the requirement, what exactly we are going to do in it. So here in the given case, we can see that we have units with us, the average selling price of a product named a Sentinel is standard notebook. Okay, so number of units sold during the year is 1,500 for the period of Jan year FY24. Okay, and the average selling price of this particular product, that is notebook, is $500. Then the cost of selling rate means that is per unit cost is $250. Okay, so those are the drivers. On the basis of these drivers we have been calculating the sales value of the product. So this is going to be hardware. Okay, so now how we are calculating it is by multiplying units to that of the average selling price. Okay, I'll show you how we have calculated this. So here unit price will be multiplied with the average selling price. So we got the value here as 7,50,000. Then we'll be calculating the cost of sales. So the cost of sales is being calculated by multiplying cost of sales rate to the number of units sold. Okay, so cost of sales rate will be multiplied with the units. So now let us see the calculation. This units will be multiplied with the cost of unit sale. So here we got 3,75,000 as the total cost. On the basis of this sales value and the cost, we will be calculating the gross profit here. Okay, so here GP is being calculated on the basis of hardware sold minus the cost of sale of hardware. Okay, so now we will see how we have calculated it. So hardware value, that is the sales value, is being subtracted with the cost. So here we got the gross profit. The gross profit margin is 3,75,000. That is 50% of the gross margin percent. So how we are going to calculate the gross margin percent here as the GP will be divided with the sale, that is the here the member name is 4110 of 4110 hardware. Okay, so the sales of hardware. So here we will now divide gross profit, or sorry, gross profit will be divided with the sales value. Okay, so here we got the 0.5, this will be multiplied with the 100. Okay, so here we got the 50%. So this is how we have calculated the entire sales and their gross margin of that specific product. Okay, now I will move to the business rules. Okay, so for that I will first go to the planning instance. Here I will then go to the rules in create and manage. I will expand EPM cloud and then expand vision, and then I will expand the plan in which I'm going to write the rule. So here I have already expanded plan 1. If I right click, I'm going to write a new rule in the rules. So here I'm going to name it as test sales driver planning. Okay, after that we will be writing a rule in the edit script mode. Okay, so here we are going to use a nested fix function, and we will fix the working member of version dimension. Here we are going to plan, which is a member of scenario. Then we are going to plan for FY24. Here we are fixing at the rate I descendants of the product. Okay, the product is going to be, I'm directly going to copy the name from here to avoid any error. Okay, so here now I'm going to select the product, so it is going to be TP. Okay, so this is going to be computer equipment. We'll just copy it from here. Then we are going to use at the rate I descendants of the entity. Okay, so here I'm going to select the entity as 100, which is resources. Okay, now here lastly we are going to fix our period. Okay, so here I'm going to write at the rate relative function for Q1, and the level is going to be 0. So here we are going to calculate this rule only for the quarter 1 and the 0 level members of quarter 1. So these are going to be January, February and March. Okay, now here I'm going to write the formula. Okay, so here, so the first formula is going to be the calculation of the sales value. So it's going to be 4110. So I'm going to copy the name directly from the instance. So here sale is going to be, okay, so here the name member is 4110 hardware. Okay, I'll copy it and then I will multiply this with the units and average selling price. Selling price, and the average selling price will entirely be mentioned in a code, as this will be treated as a single member only when it is mentioned in codes. Okay, double quote. After that I'm going to calculate the cost. So for that I will then go to the, okay, so here we have the cost, member name is 5110. Cost of sale will be calculated by multiplying the units to that of the COS rates. Okay, we call it as cost of sales rate, which is per unit value. Then after that we'll be calculating the gross profit. Okay, so the gross profit will all be calculated on the basis of the sales of the hardware. Okay, so I will directly copy the name and this will be subtracted with the cost of sale. So we will get a gross profit here. Okay, after that semicolon, which is considered as a full stop to the formula. Okay, after gross profit we will be calculating the gross profit margin. So the gross profit margin is equals to the gross profit, and this will be divided with the sales value, that is 4110 hardware, and then semicolon. Okay, after I finished writing the rule, now I will validate and save the rule here, and then deploy it, and finally I will launch the business rule. Now I will go to the calculation sheet. Here we have already derived the drivers, that is unit, average selling price, cost of freight. Okay, now I'm going to refresh this sheet as I've already launched the rule previously. Okay, so the driver is removed. Let me copy it from here, from the requirement, and then we will again run the rule here. I can even run the business rule by using calculate, and we can find the business rule, and here the name was test driver planning. I will launch the rule here. The rule is launched successfully. Now I will refresh the sheet. So now here we get the data with us, the desired result. Okay, so now we can see that in the validation sheet where we have been comparing with the requirement and the calculation has no deviations, it means the data is being validated. Okay, so this is how we calculate the driver based sales planning. Now we will move forward to our next rule of the day, that is payroll tax calculation. To understand the payroll tax calculation rule, we will first go to the requirement sheet where we will learn the method of calculating it. Okay, so here we can see that we have salaries with us, which is the member name 5800. So this is the basic salary which an employee is earning on a monthly basis. Okay, now after that we have the car allowances, which is 5% of the salaries. So here we can say that the car allowances is being calculated. Car allowance is being calculated at the rate of 5% of salaries. Okay, this is multiplied with the percentage 5%. Okay, after that we will be calculating the payroll tax. So the payroll tax is being calculated on the basis of the basic salary and the car allowances that an employee has earned. Okay, as we believe that the car allowance, as we assume that the car allowances is a taxable allowance, so the payroll tax is being calculated on the car allowances as well. So here our payroll tax will be equal to the salary value plus car allowance, and this will be we'll be considering in parenthesis, as the total of this will be calculated with the percentage, that is 20% here as per the slab of the employee. Okay, so this is how we will be calculating the payroll taxes of an individual employee. Okay, so to understand this, okay, so we have understood the requirement, what we are doing here. Now we will understand how to write a business rule for the same. So for that we will again go to the calculation manager. There in the system view I will then again write a new rule named payroll calculation. So here it is going to be test underscore payroll calc. Okay, so here again I'm going to write the business rule in the edit script mode. Here we are going to use the nested fix function, and we are going to fix here the working member of version dimension, plan from scenario, FY24 from year, here @relative function for the period, that is Q1, comma 0. Okay, let us consider the member here as Q1 in double quotes. After that, I'm going to fix the entity over here. So I'm going to copy the name of the entity directly from the instance here to avoid any error. So here I'm again selecting resources as the entity. Okay, now lastly we are going to fix the I descendants of product. So the product is going to be our computer equipments here. Okay, so here it is, computer equipment. After fixing it, I'm going to first mention the end fix statement to avoid any future error. Now we are going to write the formula for the same. So here we'll be first calculating the car allowances. So for that I will go to the instance here, and then into the account I will directly copy the name of the member from this instance. So here we can do one thing, we can directly mention car and can search for a member name. So here we got the car allowances. We can even pick the alias name, or else we can directly pick the member name. It's all the same. So here I have used the alias, okay, car allowances. This will be multiplied the member salary, which is our basic pay, 5800. This will be multiplied with the car allowances percentage. Okay, so here I'm going to select the variable that I have already created previously, that is v underscore car allowances percent. Okay, so here we have created a runtime prompt variable whose default value is being set up as a 5%. Okay, so here we have already given the value. Now I will move forward to calculating the payroll taxes. The payroll taxes is 6110. Okay, this will be mentioned in double quotes. After that is equals to, and the payroll tax, as I previously explained, will be calculated on the basis of the basic pay plus car allowances. So I will copy the name from here itself. So basic salary plus car allowances, this whole will be multiplied with the payroll taxes. Okay, so here we already have a payroll tax variable. Let us create another one to learn how we create the runtime prompt variable. Okay, so here I'm going to name it as VAR payroll tax, and the type is going to be percentage here. Okay, so I will click as runtime prompt, then I will set a limit over here, which is going to be 10 to 30%. Okay, here I will mention the runtime prompt as enter payroll tax rate. Okay, now I will click on OK. Here I will select the member which I have just created and then click on OK. So here we can see that the payroll tax is being calculated on the total salary that an employee has earned for a month. Okay, after that, this is what we have written here. This is the rule. Now I'm going to validate it. Here we have to mention the tax rate. Okay, as we haven't set any default value into it. Now I'm going to deploy it. Again, I will be getting this option to give the value of the payroll tax here. After deployment, I'm going to launch this rule. So here we can see that we have given a default value as 5% for car allowances, which can be seen while launching the rule. And again, I'm going to write the payroll tax rate as 20%. After that, I will be launching the rule. Now I will go to the smart view sheet. Here in it, we can see that we do not have car allowances and payroll tax allowances. Okay, so here now I'm going to refresh the sheet again. Okay, so here I will just copy the driver here first and then submit the data. After that, again I'm going to run this business rule in a smart view sheet itself. So here I'm going to run the rule as test payroll calc. Here we can see that again we are getting the option to enter the rate of payroll tax. Okay, after that I'm going to refresh it. So here we got the value of car allowances at the rate of 5% of the basic pay, and the payroll tax is being calculated at the rate of 20% of the combination of basic pay and car allowances. Okay, so now I will go to the validation sheet. Here we find that there is no error, there no deviation between the requirement and the calculation that we have done, hence our data is validated. Okay, so this is how we write a rule, and for any more queries please feel free to ask. Thank you.